never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow so I can understand it fully. Appreciate my standing, go out of this world and right on time. Oh, never in my life have I seen the sky light up like this. I'm far away from Earth and I wanna know if you exist. Mission control, do you read me? Send me my coordinates lately. Mission control, am I drifting? Tie me to someone who will love me, yeah. Wait, I think I'll last a bit longer. Find another.
Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Today is a very confusing day, but it's also my grandmother's birthday, which is a very special day in my neck of the woods. But I say it's confusing because it's listed as Major League Baseball's opening day, which has always been confusing because they'll call it opening day, but yet used to be back in the day there would be some teams that wouldn't play, and then they got to where they would have 2 or 3 games the day before and then have opening day. To me, opening day should mean that every single team in Major League Baseball is having their first game. But baseball actually started last week when the Dodgers and Padres played a series over in, I believe it was Korea or Japan, one of the two. The game started at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, so I'm not sure how many people actually saw those games. But today is listed as Major League Baseball's opening day, so I wanted to go ahead and come on here and make my predictions on who I think will win each division. Now, some of them should be pretty obvious, but a couple of them are just random. So as always, any thoughts on it, please feel free to let me know. With the National League East, I'll go with the Braves, and honestly, a lot of people feel like this could be the Phillies' year because we know the Phillies can beat the Braves because they beat them in the playoffs. They just can't beat them in the regular season. But a lot of people feel like the Phillies have upgraded in the offseason and the Braves didn't. I personally feel like the Braves were better after last season, and I still feel like the Braves are better now. So I'll pick the Braves to win the division, but I believe it's going to be close this year. The last couple of years, the Phillies have waited until about June to start playing baseball. This year, I don't think the Phillies are going to be a 500 team until June. I think they're going to come out of the gate playing good, but I still think the Braves win the division, but only by 3 or 4 games. The National League Central is one that I'm just guessing because I don't think any team in the division is really good, but somebody has to win it. And to me, it's down to the Brewers and the Cubs. Now, the Brewers have been the kings of the Central the last couple of seasons, but their manager, Craig Counsell, left. He is now the manager of the Cubs, so I think the Cubs have gotten better in the managerial world, and I think the Cubs have the better roster than the Brewers, but I think the Brewers have the better rotation than the Cubs. But since the Cubs did end up re-signing Cody Bellinger and they got Craig Counsell, I'll go with the Cubs out of the National League Central. The National League West, it's the Dodgers. To me, the Dodgers have had the best team in baseball as far as roster and talent wise for about 6 or 7 years now. They've only managed to win one World Series, but this year their roster, top to bottom, is so good that honestly, if they don't win 120 games, people are going to say it was a letdown season. That's the only way people are not going to say they were disappointing, is if they win 120 games and win the World Series. Anything outside of that's going to be a letdown. In the American League East, I'll go with the New York Yankees. The last few years, the Yankees have had some great play from their defense and the lineup, but they've had no consistent starting pitching outside of Garrett Cole. Of course, now Garrett Cole is hurt, but I do think the additions of Carlos Rodon and Marcus Stroman will make the rotation better, and I think that Juan Soto is going to make the lineup just good enough to win that division. The American League West, I'll go with the Astros. I think the Rangers are going to kind of have a World Series hangover, and I think the Astros win the division. The American League Central, just like the National League Central, except for it's worse. I do think in the National League Central, I think the Brewers and Cubs are both average teams, but I think they can win 85 games and win that division. The American League Central is terrible. There's not a good team in this division, but somebody has to win it. I'll go with the Minnesota Twins, but that is strictly a 100% guess because there's not a good team in that division, but somebody has to win it. We know it's not going to be the Royals, and we know it's not going to be the White Sox. Those two teams you can go ahead and scratch out, and probably the Detroit Tigers as well. So that leaves the Twins and the Guardians, and I'll go with the Twins. So any thoughts on any of my predictions as far as Major League Baseball goes, please feel free to let me know. Any thoughts on the Shohei Ohtani situation, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. 2 slices of bread got married. The wedding was amazing until someone decided to toast the bride and groom. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.